It's October! It's the second week of Halloween-a-thon! My event that I'm hosting throughout the end of September through October. If you guys didn't hear about it, I will link the announcement below. I actually checked out some picture books from the library this week, and so cute. Read this one. It was adorable. Also read The Mouse. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Mouse's First Halloween. I thought it said mouse in the house for some reason. Anyway. And this one, Just Say Boo. I even have more than just these four, but I just have read these four. And this one was my favorite of this little pile is Beatrice Likes the Dark. So cute, all Halloween-y, all spooky themed. Also, I was actually able to finish a couple of books that I started last week. So I finished a book called The Pumpkin House. The Pumpkin House, I wouldn't suggest for a really light, good time because although it does take place during Halloween and the lead up to Halloween, and it centers around these two kids working at this house, which decorates every year by putting out tons of pumpkins to protect the souls of the small town so that this creepy monster called Old Notchfoot doesn't take anybody. They need to protect everyone with a pumpkin per every soul in the town. And that's all great sounding, but there's some heavy topics, including child abuse type of, content. So very, very heavy. Not a light read at all. That one I'm giving like a 3.75. I guess I'll round it up to 4 for Goodreads whenever I rate it on Goodreads. And then the other one I finished was totally trashy, totally zany, totally fun, Resurrection Dreams by Richard Laymon. An actual fun Richard Laymon again, because sometimes I've been reading his books this year and they've been great hits for me and really fun and zany, and other times they have not worked. But Resurrection Dreams really did work for me quite a bit. It was zany. This dude was trying to bring back these dead bodies to life, and he was obsessed with this one girl who was living and was kind of stalking her, and more develops from there. It was wild. I had a good time. 4 stars for that one. I'm also making tons of progress on my Halloween diamond painting. I'm more than halfway. I'm hoping to finish maybe by the end of the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be tough to finish it that quick. I think I might need a couple of extra days, so we'll see how I get along with that as we go through this vlog. I'm currently actually reading and somehow loving a cozy mystery called In the Company of Witches. I'm absolutely loving the audiobook, and I'm usually diamond painting while I'm listening to that one because I only have the audio. And then I'm also listening and reading along to this other book called Carrick Glen, and just like 30% in, I feel like it could be a 5-star because I really relate to the main character and his struggles about loving Halloween, but the town saying like, oh, you're too old to trick-or-treat, you're 13, people have got to stop trick-or-treating when they're like 11, and he also is struggling with, it's kind of a coming of age in a way because he's struggling with growing up and his friend group changing, and a lot of Halloween-y stuff hasn't happened, but there's been a lot of great discussion and quotes about Halloween and why this character loves Halloween time. And in terms of movies, I did participate in a watch party that Amy from Amy Noel Reed showed on our Discord, and Cobweb was crazy. I thought it was going to be like a 4 or a 4.5 star watch for the most part, but then at the end, it went a little off the rails, and some of the CGI at the end, I was like, eh. So I think I'm gonna settle on a 3.5 star rating, just because I did really like the majority of the movie, except when it came to the very end, like the last 5 minutes, I think. I also watched Bubba Ho-tep, which was a 4-star watch for me. Very cute. These 2 old men have to try to face off against this random mummy spirit. It's very random and funny, and it's supposed to be funny, but it's also got a lot of heart, and I really enjoyed that. I watched it last night, and Jackson came in here to stand and stare at me. Tell everyone hi, Jax! Jax, what are you doing? Oh. Okay, you gonna lay down now? He's laying. Okay, guys, let's see what I get up to the rest of this week. technically in week 3, but I want to do this clip so that I can close out week 2. I am so bad about updating during the week. However, I did at least shoot some B-roll. But before we talk about stuff that I did during the week, like activities-wise, I do want to give you guys some reading and movie watching updates. So let's get into that first. I did finish a book! And guess what? It was my first completed book for October, and it was a 5-star read! I'm so excited. So I did end up finishing In the Company of Witches, a cute little cozy mystery. Huge shout out to Erin from the channel, of course, Erin Megan. I love her so much, guys. If you haven't heard of her channel, please, please, please go check her out. She's one of the sweetest people on earth, and she's just so much fun to watch. She is so comforting of a person, and I literally cannot say enough good things about her. So she is the one who told me about this book because I saw her talk about it on books she would like to get to during this fall. So I don't think I would have ever discovered this book had it not been for her video where she mentioned it, and I just thought that the cover looked really cute. So I said, okay, I'll put this on my potentials list. I picked it up on a whim, listened to audio, and it was incredible. It wound up being a 5-star read for me. Now, I will say, for the majority of the book, I was in heaven. I was loving it. All the vibes were there in terms of like spooky season vibes, October vibes, perfection. But even with the great vibes, I thought maybe I was going to wind up giving it a 4.5-star rating because I was thinking to myself, does just a random cozy mystery really deserve a 5? Like, what is so special about this? But I was enjoying it so much. But then the end, when I got to the end, I literally cried. Not just a little, like, trickle of a tear, but, like, ugly cried. I was hiding my face from Paul because I didn't want him to see me cry, and he didn't see me cry, but I had streams of tears running down my face, and I went into the bathroom and, like, blew my nose and, like, got all better. Because I was not expecting to cry like that, but the ending really had like an emotional touch to it, and to me it was more about like the great characters and the cool setting and like how that there was witchcraft involved in it more than the mystery. The mystery was fun too, and it actually did surprise me a little, but more than any of that, it was really about the vibes and the great character development, in my opinion. A lot of people compare the story to Practical Magic, but I actually read Practical Magic, and I liked this so much more than Practical Magic, but that's just my opinion. I just thought the characters were more relatable, and the story was a little bit more cozy, and I just really liked the characters even more than the ones in Practical Magic. However, that one was fun too. I really connected with In the Company of Witches for some reason. Again, another huge shout out to Erin. I am so glad she put this on my radar, and I just watched her vlog where she read it, and she also gave it 5 stars, which is so great, and she also cried at the end, so it's so funny. I had no idea that she had also read it, like basically the same week as me. Well, almost. I think we read it a couple of days apart. No, because she said it was her first full book read for October too, so we must have read it during the same week. Anyway, it's so funny. Not only she was thinking the same thing, like a 4.5, but like she said that the ending and the emotional, you know, context of the ending bumped it up to a 5. And that's exactly how I felt, so we were like on the exact same page. So I just think that's so fun and cool, and I don't know, whatever. It was really exciting that she felt the same way, and that I got to see her experience it in the same way when I watched her vlog. It just came out today, so I'll link her vlog below. Highly recommend if you want to have some cozy fall vibes, because it was a very cute and cozy little autumn, fall, beginning of October reading vlog. End of September, beginning of October reading vlog. It was perfect. And in my last check-in, I did say that I was reading Carrick Glynn and that I thought it could be a 5-star. I'm still reading that. I have not finished it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, it's that I'm trying to read a ton of books at once, so I have more than one book going at once. And some other books I am using audio and diamond painting, and I've been wanting to do a lot more diamond painting this week to do more progress on it. And so because Carrick Glynn's one that I'm actually reading along as I listen, I'm not diamond painting while doing that one, so that's why I haven't been going to that one as much as other audiobooks where I'm just using the audio and I'm diamond painting, if that makes sense. So it's not that I'm not enjoying it, I'm still loving it, but I'm thinking it's gonna be closer to a 4.5, only because of some nitpicky, like, language reasons in terms of the main character who's a little boy. Well, not a little boy. He's like an early teenager type of character. I really like him a lot as a character, still the same thing as when I checked in. However, just some things that he says doesn't really feel like things a teenager would say, and so that takes me out of it sometimes, but I am still loving it. The vibes are strong, but we haven't really gotten that horror yet, so it's really all character development and mostly coming of age vibes so far. So we'll see how I feel as I continue to go on. So back to Carrick Glen, or however you say it. I'm still liking it, still in the middle of it, will update in the next vlog. And similarly, I have a couple of other things that I'm in the middle of doing that I will either start and or update for the next vlog, including one of the things I rolled last was I picked out of my prompt pile of cards and it said to read a picture book, and that picture book will be Gustavo, the Shy Ghost. So that is my plan, but it won't be read until, you know, next vlog. So tune into week 3 if you want to see what I think of cute little Gustavo, the Shy Ghost. I think I'm gonna love it, so we will see. I also landed on a space on my board which said to pick a book off of my book cart, and for that one I chose to reread Autumncrow by my bud and my co-host Cameron Chaney. Check out his channel. He is fantastic. Not only is he fantastic as a booktuber and a person, but he's also a fantastic author, so it was so great to revisit Autumncrow, which is a collection of short stories. I loved it so much. So the first time I read it a couple of years ago, I used my eyeballs only, so I read it physically. This time I listened to it on audio because it was newly released as an audiobook, and the audio was fantastic. So not only is it still a 5-star read for me, but I actually think I even liked it more, which I didn't think was even possible, because the audio really added a lot of emotion and depth to it, and a lot of atmosphere too. I think the narrator did a great job of bringing Cameron's words to life and giving the words the appropriate emotion and inflection. So loved, loved, loved. Highly recommend the audio if you've not read it, because I think you could enjoy the audio. It was just such a good time. I'm so excited. And yeah, it's so fun to also have read it while Cameron's a co-host for this event. It makes it even more special. Also randomly, this wasn't for anything that I rolled for my board, but I just decided on a whim to pick up the middle grade book by Jeff Strand called It Watches in the Dark. And it's about these two little kids who are out on a canoeing trip with their dad. The canoe capsizes and they find themselves in this small town looking for help for their dad. And the town is really weird. All the grown-ups there are just off in some way, and there's this huge scarecrow in the middle of town, and it's very menacing and very creepy and very huge. And so the kids are not only put off by the way everyone in the town acts, but they're also put off by this creepy ass scarecrow. That one was decent. I think I'm going to wind up giving that one like a 4-star. Technically, I think the vibes were, for me, around more of like a 3.75, but of course I'm going to round it. I don't do that type of rating. I only do halves and wholes, so, you know, a 3.5 or a 4. So in this case, I'm just going to round it to 4. Again, it was enjoyable. It just wasn't the greatest thing I've ever read, but for a middle grade book, it was definitely scary and very dark because there was lots of talk of death and kids getting killed and people being in danger, so it definitely went there, and I appreciated that. So that makes a total of 5 books read for this week, week 2, and overall 2 5-stars, a couple of 4-stars. In fact, actually, yeah, it was 2 5-stars and 3 4-stars, so kind of perfect balance, I think. Great ratings overall, all solid reads, all thematic reads, and the important thing is that I'm not stressing over anything. I'm having the best spooky season so far, which is really hard to believe considering I thought I'd be kind of overwhelmed and stressed out in terms of running this event, but it's all going really, really well, and a super big thank you to my co-hosts and to my Monster Squad helpers for being such a huge support system for me. That really, really means the world to me. I can't even tell you. And in terms of movies for this week, I watched 6 movies. Very exciting. So my 2 favorites were rewatches. I rewatched the movie Possession, which is my own host rec, and I also rewatched my other host rec, which is Troll 2. Both 5 stars, both incredible. Troll 2, we did it as a watch party on Discord on Sunday, and freaking it was incredible to watch it while chatting with people who had never seen it before, like a good amount of people at the party. They had never seen it before, and it was such a great time to hear them or read what they were saying about watching it for the first time. I already told you guys about Cobweb and Bubba Ho-tep, and I also, on top of that, watched Puppet Master for the first time, which I had never seen. It was so bad but good, because there was this one part where I literally cackled. I'm not lying, I legit cackled. Like, nobody was home, I was by myself, and I was like busting out laughing, and that's very rare for me to actually laugh out loud at a movie. Sometimes things make me chuckle, like, internally, but I don't laugh out loud. But I literally laughed out loud at the scene where one of the dolls, named Pinhead, I think's his name, because I googled him, he gets, like, thrown down some stairs, and just, I don't know why, that part made me laugh. And he was also punching this poor lady, and that made me laugh too, because it was just so absurd looking and kind of fake looking, but also amazing. I don't know. I really had a good time with that one. That was a 4-star watch for me because of the ridiculousness and just the fun of it. You know, it's not a great horror movie, but it kind of is, because it's like a cult classic type of movie, and I'm so glad I finally watched it. Definitely worth it. Had a ball. But I want to go back to Possession for a minute, because that was probably my favorite movie watch, even though it was a rewatch, for this whole readathon watchathon so far, because I love Possession so much, and the second viewing just cemented that it might be my favorite movie of all time, in terms of it's a movie that I consider maybe the greatest film ever made, because I really just can't stop thinking about it, and some of the imagery and some of the metaphors that are layered in the movie. It's not really about possession in terms of like a demon possession. It's more like possession, like I own you, I possess you, and it's about the falling apart of a marriage, but it's about so much more too. And there's also weird horror shit that happens and body horror that happens in it. And it's just so well made and so well acted. It's probably like the best acting in any movie ever. Yet, is it over the top and kind of like giant acting in terms of like all of the acting is so large. It's not subtle, but it's so large in a believable way. Like when you see this marriage, you really feel each person's pain at it falling apart and their confusion and their inability to communicate with each other, how they're feeling, why they're feeling the way they are. And it's just so well made. Like, I can't even believe it's a real movie. Like, how did the filmmakers make such a genius movie? How did the actors act so perfectly? It's just one of those films that make you love and appreciate films so much, and it gets you excited about movies. At least that's the case for me, because it's the kind of movie that makes me remember why I love movies. It's the kind of movie that makes me wish that I was, you know, talking more about movies, that I was watching more movies, that I could almost have a discussion about this movie. In fact, my friend Jen, check out her channel once again at Literary Love 123. I shouted her out in my last vlog, but I want to shout her out again because she actually sent me a whole bunch of articles and academic writings on possession, including podcast episodes on possession. I have yet to look in depth at all of them, but I'm going to very soon, and I'm so excited. Maybe one day me and Jenny could have a discussion about it, because she's so great at academic discussion of horror that I think she'd be the perfect person to discuss it with. And just the idea of doing that with her and discussing the movie in general gets me so hyped and excited. That was such a great watch. The only other new watch that I checked out for week 2 was Black Sunday, a classic movie from 1960, directed by Mario Bava. Mario Bava is the director of another favorite movie of mine called Blood and Black Lace, which is a giallo movie. The colors are amazing. I love the mystery of Blood and Black Lace. However, Black Sunday is a lot more slow-paced. You have to be a lot more patient, and it definitely feels like an older movie, whereas Blood and Black Lace didn't feel as much as an older movie to me. And I don't know if it's just because I'm very, very bad at watching old school black and white movies. They're not always my jam, but I didn't love it like everyone else does. Like, if you look on Letterboxd for Black Sunday, the ratings for a lot of my friends are super high, like 4 and 5 stars. And me, like, I already was like kind of in the 3-star territory. However, I know it really deserves more. Now, the practical effects were incredible. The effects were really cool. There were some amazing shots, including where a woman who's being accused of, you know, working with Satan and being a witch, she gets like this mask hammered into her face, and it is insane. Like, that part was crazy. And also there's this like face melting scene, which is nuts, and this face reforming scene too, where like the face comes back together, which was really cool. So there were some really cool aspects of it, but I just felt like some of the parts were so drawn on, and some were a little ridiculous. Like, this guy falls in love with this princess really, really quickly. I'm torn on that one. I feel like I wasn't paying enough attention to it to really give a fair rating. So to me, it was feeling like a 3.5, but I'm gonna actually not rate it because I feel like it's not fair, because I was so distracted and I wasn't already in the mindset of enjoying it. So I think I didn't give it a fair shot. So I'm gonna reassess that at some other point. I just don't know when. But yeah, just because I didn't absolutely love it like everyone does, don't take that as a strike against the movie per se. I would still always say to give something a chance if you're in doubt, because just because I like or dislike something doesn't mean that you will feel the same way, and that is okay. That is the beauty of freaking having a YouTube channel, sharing opinions, is that you can hear my opinion, but you could still go and experience the book or movie for yourself and make your own judgments, and then you could also kind of interact with my opinion on it by leaving me a comment and discussing how you feel about said book or movie and why. And I love that. I love that. That's one of my favorite things ever, is to discuss different opinions and why we all have those different opinions. But do it in a fun, respectful way, in a friendly way. And as long as that happens, I'm cool with disagreements, of course. And I know this clip is already really long, but I just want to show you guys some stuff that I got from Walmart, because I took a little B-roll there. So I went there yesterday to get groceries, but I couldn't resist their Halloween pajamas, so I got this one and like a vampire pattern one that's orange. However, the ones I really want that I've been seeing around, they didn't have my size. They didn't even have them at all, but I saw it online and it's sold out online too, and it makes me sad. There's like a ghosty pattern I want. There's like a really cool, I think it's like a diamond, orange and black diamond thing with Halloween icons on it that they didn't have either. And there's like a whole bunch that I want. I hope they come back next year, because I would buy all the patterns. All the patterns. So I only got 2, but I wish I could have gotten more. I also got some hair accessories. So this cute bow that just clips in your hair. That'll be cute to wear. I got another headband. I'm a big fan of headbands, especially Halloween-y ones. I got this cute candy corn because my room here is candy corn themed. So I'm going to put this on my bookcase somewhere, either the one here that you could kind of see the edge of. This is my horizontal one, but I also have a vertical one that you guys cannot see. But I didn't have any candy corns that were like kind of a different color, so this one with the pink, it's a little different than normal. I usually don't like pastels in my Halloween decorations, but because I needed more candy corn stuff, I was like, yes, bitch, just get it. Even though I really needed to be saving money. I also got these cutie freaking clips. I love them. And 2 more hair things. These scrunchies. I already had some Halloween scrunchies, but you know, can you have enough? No. And then one last scrunchie that has some cute, like, pumpkins hanging off of it. See? I love it! Alright, that's my haul from Walmart, and besides that, all I've really done this week, besides going to Walmart, is diamond paint. And I'm almost done. So last time I showed you guys, I was like, here. I have done like so much since then. I actually only have this moon and a little bit of Zero and a little bit of Jack's skull left to do. And a little bit of like the little curvy mountain that's in Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, this will be done in like a day or 2 at most. So I will be able to switch to a new diamond painting for week 3! Very excited. Alright guys, that was a long update, but truly, for this time, that is it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate you letting me kind of prather on very long in this last clip. But let me know if you read any of the books that I checked out in this vlog. As I said, highly recommend both Autumncrow and In the Company of Witches, as well as maybe not Puppet Master for everybody, but if you like cheesy movies, check that out. And also highly recommend Possession. But if you don't like domestic arguments and you've got triggers about domestic violence, I would say steer clear, because it could be very triggering for you. But Possession's such a thoughtful, deep movie, and an artsy movie, and a weird movie, that it's just really an experience, honestly. And Troll 2, the same thing. It's an experience, and it's best to watch with friends if you've never seen it before. So it's very bad. It's very cheesy. Worse than Puppet Master, but in a good way. Like, way worse, but that makes it way better in a way, if that makes sense. Anyway, I recommend all of that. If you have any thoughts on those movies or anything else I read or watched, let me know down below. I'd love to know! Okay guys, till next time, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye guys!